What's up, Rubits? Little Big Robots back. Another video for you. I thought it'd be fun to do the standard thing that a lot of channels and stuff do this time of year, and that is to create a New Year's resolution list. I'm not normally somebody who does something like this. I don't really put much stock in a resolution, but it's fun. I've always enjoyed making lists because it makes me organize my thoughts, which is a good thing because I'm pretty disorganized thought-wise a lot of the time. So let's just get right into it. The first thing that I really want to resolve to do would be to get a 3D printer. And we've been looking at a few options. I specifically have been looking, of course, at the Bamboo A1 or whatever it is. It's under $400. It would do exactly what I want it to do, which is just to help create a few little custom bits and baubles for my custom pieces. But also, I eventually want to work on making a custom toy. I have a vehicle in mind I want to make with an interior because I love interiors so much. And I think it'd be cool to actually be able to make one or two or three and customize them using like the kind of kit that I put together. So I thought of maybe even making like a model kit type thing, but I think it'd be more interesting or easier to make one that has a pre-built part for the most part, and then like a removable roof or back part that you could then customize how you want. Similar to kind of how you would see some toy makers make like a single piece, and then the vibe is that you take that piece, different artists, different creators or fans take those pieces and then decorate them how they want, and then you see the same piece or the same toy decorated in a million different ways. That's kind of the vibe I want to go for, but with a vehicle with a really cool interior. I like tanks, I like big kind of trucks and stuff like that. I might make something like that. And of course a mech, but a mech would involve quite a bit more engineering and stuff that would be over my head. So I think I'd start with like a big truck or something, with a big removable back or something. So I'm looking at that Bamboo just because they're so inexpensive and so easy to set up. And this is what I've been saying for a long time about electric vehicles, technologies like that. Usually what happens is a company comes along and makes the item cheap enough and reliable enough that it becomes widespread. And then you see the cost overall just start to drop dramatically because other companies have no choice but to keep up with it. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm definitely looking at the Bamboo. It's just because I'm not messing with resin. I don't want toxic chemicals in my house. Thank you very much. I think that's great, but I'm not that dedicated to it. Anyway, so that's resolution number one. Hopefully by, before too long in the new year, we'll get us one. They're not expensive at all. Second resolution would be to continue to do 2 videos a week. I've switched to toy videos around 2015 when I really started to get into gunplay and stuff like that. Before that, my channel started in 2007. And was all video games and mostly mmorpgs. And I really got a lot of my views. I got over 2 million views total. If you look on my channel about page now, it shows less than that because I've privated a lot of my larger videos, video game videos, stuff like that. And I worked at several gaming websites over the years, and a lot of those videos from those sites that I was allowed to put on my channel as well got a lot of my views. And then I had certain videos like interviews with devs and stuff like that got a lot of my views. And then I had some tech kind of walk-through how-to videos, and those got a lot of views. Well, I privated all those when I switched to mostly just a toy channel. And over time, I'll slowly republic some of those videos because there's some really good video games that don't exist anymore that I have on video, talking with the devs or watching the last day of the video or of the game or whatever. So anyway, I started in 2007 and in 2015 switched to really toys. So even that, I've now been going for about 10 years doing toy videos. And I went from 4 videos to 3 to 2, and 2 is really my ideal because I can put one out about the middle of the week and then one out on Saturday or Sunday. And it's been really fun to watch it grow. I'm just a small channel. I just do it for fun. If I was to make a living out of it, that would be fantastic. But honestly, I'd rather make my living with something more stable. And then eventually, if I say made and sold a toy, that would be a great living as well. So 2 videos per week. Let you guys and gals and everybody else let me know in the comments, or otherwise, if you prefer the 2 or you prefer more or whatever, just feel free to spout it out, because I listen to a lot of that feedback. And really, the idea here is just to keep going and doing what I've been doing all along, which is to just make videos of stuff that I think is cool. I don't care what the current trends are. I don't just buy stuff because it's the hot new thing. That's a surefire way to get yourself into too much debt. So 2 vids per week, I think, is probably good. Usually around Wednesday and Saturday, sometimes Sunday. Sometimes I'll skip a week. And then like over the holidays, I skipped 2 weeks to give myself a break. And I don't mind doing that. I'm not like a number chaser where I'm just like fanatic about it, where I make every little thing I do on YouTube is engineered to get more clicks. I think you turn into kind of a cheesy robot at that point. I don't want to do that. So anyway, so that's resolution number 2, is keep doing the 2 videos a week. Resolution number 3 would be to grow in 25 by 2,000 subs. I'd have to check my analytics, but I get about 50 to 100 subscriptions a month, which doesn't sound like a lot. And I probably will do a video talking about what it's like to run kind of a really small channel like this, around 4,000, 5,000 to 10,000 subs. I think once you hit 10,000, you really kind of start to see a big difference. But again, this is not a business. This is for fun. So if I get between 30 to 30,000 views on a video, which is what I get, it just depends on the video. I did one a few weeks ago. I got 14,000 views, tons of comments, and I try to respond to almost every comment I can. And I try not to delete comments unless they're just trolls, But so I think between 50 and 100 subs, if I did 100 subs a month, that would be 1,200 subs. So I think I could get to 2,000 if I kind of remind people to do it, stuff like that. In fact, if you're watching this and haven't subscribed, please do, because it's not that I care about the subscription as much. It's that I would like to get my videos out to more people, because I enjoy meeting people who like the same stuff I do. And to do that, you have to get your stuff, you have to get the algorithm to put you in front of people. So that would be a surefire way to do it. It's funny because when you have a really large channel, let's say you have millions of subs, it kind of just builds on its own. It really does. You're kind of popular for being popular. So grow by 2,000 subs, that'd be a good goal, I think, by the end of 25. So help me do that, please. That's number 3. Number 4, I'm going to stick to try to stick to my normal budget. Throughout most of last year, maybe the year before that, my wife has always had a budget, and she's really good about keeping track of it. I have tried to keep track of it, but I tend to be more airheady about it. But all you really have to do is when you buy an item or buy a toy, you mark it down. What I tend to do is I have a credit card that I use for toys and fun stuff. And then that previous month, you pay off that previous month's, you pay down the card all the way the next month. So if my budget is, let's say, $300 a month, then, I get to that limit, and the next month I pay it off. If I can pay it off right then, cool, but that's not really the point. Also, if you use certain credit cards, you get points and stuff like that. Like I get Amazon points, and we've got, I think it's set on Amazon, like over $1,000 in credit over time, as far as little points that add up. So even if it's 1 or 2%, you over time, as you make, like especially if you make some large purchases on Amazon, like electronics or TV or something like that, that stuff does add up, and you can use that credit card outside of Amazon to get 1 or 2%, and on Amazon it's a little more, I think. And those points add up, and then you get yourself like a free toy or something once in a while. It's kind of neat, it's definitely worth doing, but definitely sticking to that budget is what I want to do. I don't really tend to go over that anyway. I could, but one of the things I really like about how I live now is basically all my hobby stuff fits into this one room. I've kind of had that rule for a while, since me and my wife have been able to have separate offices. She has all her stuff in hers, and I have all mine in mine. And I don't tend to store stuff out in, like, we have an outdoor storage area. I don't tend to store stuff out there. Everything I have is in here. So it's a little crowded in here. You really can't see this other side. That's kind of more storage. And so I'm working on really pushing that stuff down. Like all my Hexagear stuff fits into a bin and a half, like a big bin and a half. And I'm going to organize that to where parts, if you organize it, you can squeeze more into a smaller area. And on top of that, it's organized. So when you're doing stuff like custom builds, it's easier to do. So a part of that organization is sticking to that budget. So I know kind of generally what I can get. Now, some of the toys I like are more on the expensive side, like Come for Arts figures, or this little kind of like, they look like stop motion dolls. You might have seen me review them. So those are 40 to 60 a piece. So those are slow purchases over time. You have model kits and Joy Toys on the more expensive end. Model kits are generally cheap. So you have to stick to a budget or stick to some kind of limitation, or you're just going to wind up with so much stuff. We've all seen it, a collector or YouTuber or somebody who gets overwhelmed and just ends up selling it all for dirt cheap because they're just like, they can't, or they get in credit card debt or something. The key to life is being able to access that credit if you need it, but not having it filled up, because then you're screwed. So it's good to have it for emergencies, and you buy something new or whatever, need a new washer or something like that. So that's resolution number 4, sticking to a good budget, and I think I can do it. Resolution 5, organize all my modular parts. This is kind of like what I was mentioning before, talking about just a second ago, is I have, let's say, Lego, for example, Lego and bricks. So I have Lego, LOZ bricks, I have My Build, I have Kobe, all these different brick companies that I like to use, and they each, although most of them are compatible, the LOZ are smaller, so they're not compatible, but most of them are compatible. So technically I could put them all in one big box, Mega Constructs, stuff like that, but certain ones you do want to keep separated. So what I really want to do is take my Lego, organize them into parts, Hexagear, Rahio, all my bits and baubles from Gundam and Gunpla parts, and have them organized into bins or organizational things so that I can grab one and know, okay, here's all the hands or the arms or the connector bits or whatever, because I love to sit there either while in my office here or watching TV or just chilling out and building little custom bits of stuff. And I was having such fun doing that today with Snapships and with Hexagear, and then I couldn't find a part that would have been easy to find if I just had it organized, just even basically organized in size or shape or something, color, that sort of thing. So definitely organizing my modular bits is a huge project. Not a huge project as far as hard to do, but it's very important. I need to just sit down and do it. So that's definitely something I'm going to be working on. At the very first, I'm already working on it today, so that's number 5. Number 6, do more customs. Get back to more custom toys. Every hobby I've ever been into, I've always been an artist. I've always done painting and drawing and woodworking, all sorts of weird clay. I used to make clay monsters and stuff a lot. I've always had a creative hobby. I cannot avoid having creativity in my life. I don't know if you're this way or not. A lot of people are. I think everybody is creative in some way, but some people don't necessarily need to express it as much. For me, if I'm not being creative or putting my own stamp on something in a way, I feel like I'm wasting time, and it gets a little depressing. So if I get into a hobby like collecting toys, it's not a creative hobby necessarily. You're kind of just consuming. So I like to do stuff like custom toys, stuff that I want to do. I'm a little precious about, let's say, for example, that bee duck, even though I have another one on the way, or it should be on the way before too long. And you can always buy another one. I get a little precious about, I don't want to paint that one. What if it's the one I want to keep? I get really too precious. So what I'm thinking I will do is, let's say in Gunpla, there's like 10 or 15 or 20 kits that I want to have built on my shelf or to mess with, but I don't want to paint. I want to leave them as they were meant to be. There's some Gunpla kits that I have in my closet that are like collectible in a way. They're rarer kits, or just to me important kits, or my favorite kit of all time. I have like 3 copies of whatever. Those I'll never build. But the rest of them I should be able to take apart and mess with and do whatever I want to do. And I need to start getting back to that. Even if it's just a basic paint job and a weathering job or something like that. Because when I do that and I'm done with one, I feel so happy. I feel so just awesome. And it's a great creative process that combines a lot of my loves, which is painting, drawing, designs and stuff like that. I even have some gunplay that I drew on. I actually used colored pencils to paint. You flat coat them with like a flat coat, and it creates like a paper-like texture, and then you can draw on them. I drew flames and symbols and stuff. It's really fun. So I'm thinking of getting way back into customs. At least I should try to do at least like one a month, or a kit every other kit. Try to do one or something. Start sharing those on my Instagram or something, or at least here on the YouTube. I like these Maker's Mark mechs that everybody asks about all the time. Just take one apart and give it a good gunmetal weathered look. Adding a gun to it, or a pilot, or some fun stuff. That stuff to me is great. It's like being a kid again. I really enjoy the using my imagination like that. So I'll definitely be looking into that. Really, I don't have too many other other resolutions other than those 6. I think I'm in a pretty good place on the channel, and just personally, I'm older now, so I have to start thinking in kind of a terms of like, what am I doing? What do I want to do for the remaining however long I have? And to me, toys are definitely one of my greatest passions. They always have been, but it really all of it comes down to being an individual and expressing myself my individuality. And so that's why I collect a lot of the strange toys, or toys you don't see a lot of, like Rahio and stuff, is because when I get into something, if it's popular already, it's not that I'm snooty or I'm trying to be cool or whatever, but I feel like, okay, other people are covering that. That's a cool thing, but I just kind of lose interest in it because it's already so many other people's thing. So I tend to get into kind of unusual stuff a lot of the time. And I want to keep that up because looking back on my history on the internet, as a kid, I've always been that way. And I'm really proud of the fact that I've always done at least what I want to do in my hobbies and in my life. So, but anyway, you have any resolutions, holler at them, holler them in the comments there. They don't have to be about toys or hobbies or whatever, but of course it's what we talk about a lot here. But, take it easy on yourself if you have some and you don't exactly complete them all perfectly. The resolutions, that's one of the reasons I don't like them, is it's a way that people get set up for failure and then they feel bad. So, have some if you want, but kind of take it easy on yourself. Try to stick to them and achieve them, but, give yourself some realistic amount of time and some realistic goals so that you can actually achieve them. So anyway, Happy New Year. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.